All right, hello, welcome. My name is Ajayi Adidamola, and I'm the principal consultant in HFR Consulting. So, what are we here to do? It's no news now that ICAN has changed the syllabus. So, effective November 2025, we are going to be operating the new syllabus. And please, a lot has changed. Most people feel like they just added one or two courses, financial management for skills. So this video is dedicated to the impact of changes for skills course. So for skills students, if you are writing skills, you have moved from foundation to skills, or you are just starting, you have your BSHND, you are taking advantage of exemption, you want to start the skill stage, or you have a reference, or you have a reference in skills and have to repeat a particular paper. Please, this is very important because I'm telling you that a lot of things have changed. Even me myself, it was when I was looking at it in detail, started looking at this new syllabus and compared to those syllabus, that I saw that there were a lot of more changes than what we saw on the surface. So please, that's why I came up with this video, so that I can show you in details what has changed and then give you insight on how to navigate these changes. Because I've been teaching or lecturing for around 8 to 10 years now, so at least I've had one or two syllabus changes in the course of teaching or in the course of helping students prepare and pass ICAN exams. So I can tell you that there are some dynamics or some things that would have changed, transitional issues when it comes to the new syllabus. Okay, so and that's why you have to know and understand the impact of the changes. What areas have changed? What courses? What have they changed? What have they brought in? Which areas should you pay attention? How can you navigate better, or how can you get to prepare better so you can pass your exams? All right, great. So let me present this so you can see clearer. All right, beautiful. So impact of the new ICAN syllabus on skills courses. Okay. All right, sorry. Okay, so let's go. So now let's look at the general changes. One, please note that more emphasis is now on what? Sustainability and impact of technology. In fact, this has been incorporated into all your courses in skills. You see that sustainability is the new vibe. I'm telling you, it's the new vibe in ICANN. So expect a lot of questions. In fact, standards on sustainability are now incorporated into the syllabus. We still look at it in more details each course, and look at what are the impacts and how has it changed compared to the old syllabus. So then impact of technology, whether we like it or not, technology is here and is really affecting the finance and accounting world. You have a lot of AI, you have cloud computing, you have cyber security and all those other things. So ICANN has brought them seriously and paid more emphasis on them. So you see a lot of them in the new syllabus, because ICANN also wants us to. ICANN as a body is also trying to align itself with what? With current global standards and the things or changes in the world, in the field. Okay, so that students can also get those things as they are preparing and writing exams. Then, very importantly, some current standards. See, the last syllabus was, if I can remember right, 2021. That was when the last syllabus was changed. Between 2021 and 2025, a lot of new standards are now in place. A lot of things have changed. A lot of laws have changed. So they have officially incorporated those new laws now. So for some standards, they are out. They have brought in some standards. Some standards have been adjusted or amended. So all those things have been incorporated into the new syllabus. Okay. Then you really need to pay attention to those new areas. That's why I want to point them out to you so that you can see, so you can pay attention to pay, because examiners, most times they change syllabus, they tend to want to test those new areas because that's the emphasis. That's why they change the syllabus. So expect questions on some of these new areas in the exam. So it's not going to be business as usual. So it's no longer the normal PM that you have. Things have changed. It's no longer the normal FR. A lot of things have changed. So let's look at them in details now. So now we still have the same 5 courses in skills, but it's just that some with new names, and then a course has come to replace another course. Okay, so the new courses are, you have what? Financial reporting. So financial reporting is still financial reporting. That has not changed, but I'm telling you that things have changed. You will see when we start looking at it together. uh when the syllabus came out initially, I just glanced through. I didn't know that some of those changes were this much until I actually did a very in-depth review, started looking at it line by line with the old syllabus, and saw a lot of changes. And that's why you have to be aware. Don't think it's business as usual. It's no longer business as usual. Things have changed. Okay, and you have to be aware so that you don't get caught unawares. Okay, then audit and assurance, and then it's now called audit assurance and what? Forensics. So forensics has now been brought into what? Audit and assurance. Before it was previously audit and assurance, but I'm telling you that you now have forensic inside audit and assurance embedded. So it's like another area or a sub area And so this is a new area. Then taxation, some things have changed in taxation. Performance management, PM is not PM again. PM, some things have been removed, some things have been added. We look at it together so you can be understand that PM. Then most importantly, this is where a lot of students are having fears. Financial management. This is a new course. It has just come into place. So we look at financial management. What are the basic things you need to know about financial management and all those things? So let's now look at each course one by one, and we'll look at what has changed between what was applicable before and what will be applicable now. All right. So let's look at it. So let's start. Let's start from financial reporting. Financial reporting. Okay. Please, the course is now more voluminous. Financial reporting was voluminous before, but they have added some other things. They have added some new standards and some new areas. So if your FR pack was around 700 pages before, by the time the pack comes out, I'm telling you, be expecting maybe 800 or 900 pages because it's more voluminous. They have added some new areas they have to pay attention to. Okay, so let's start from the areas that have been added first. So one, please, sustainability. You know, I said it when we started that sustainability is part. Please, sustainability has been incorporated seriously now into your syllabus. So you have international sustainability standard, but you know, before some of the for FR, you have some bodies like IFRS, IASB, so IASB, what other bodies? FRCN, advisory board, but you now have another board or body you have to understand, which is called International Sustainability Standard Board. They issue sustainability standards. So that's been incorporated. You have to understand that too. IS 21, effect of changes in foreign exchange. Previously, please, this was in professional. Now they have brought it to skills. So please, effect of changes in exchange rate, foreign exchange is now part of your syllabus. So you have to learn it. And please note that I'm telling you for sure that expect, especially for the first 2, 3, 4, that expect questions on some of these new areas. They are going to be tested. So you have to actually pay attention to them. Next is what? IFRS 18 that is going to replace IS 1. Although I think the it's going to be compulsory, I think, starting from 31st December 2020, if I can remember right now. If I'm not so sure. But please, early adoption is also allowed. So they want us to start learning because after a while, we're going to kick out IS1 and we're going to be using what? IFRS 18. So IFRS 18 has been brought into the syllabus. So you have to understand that. There's sustainability reporting, like I said. So you have sustainability standard. So basically, they have brought in IFRS S1, that's sustainability standard 1 and 2. So you have to learn that along with your other words, IAS and IFRS. Okay, so that's basically for financial reporting. Those are the changes. Let's look at audit and assurance and forensics. Okay, the course content is not so materially different from before. It's not, the change is not as drastic as some other courses, but please note that some areas have still been added. So it's not business as usual. So one, like I said, forensics has been brought in fully into the syllabus. So expect questions on forensics. Okay, then assurance on sustainability information. I told you sustainability has been incorporated into all your courses. So even in audit, they want you to know how do you do assurance on sustainability, how do you audit sustainability and all these other things. Then misstatement is now more prominent in your your syllabus for audit and assurance for those that be writing the course. Then concept of risk and control matrix is there. Management responsibility on internal control, called what? ICFR. Okay, please, that has also been brought into what? Into place. It was not there before, but please is now strictly in the syllabus. Okay, then audit reports. Audit report is now, before for audit and assurance in skills, not so much is done on, but now more emphasis. What are the type of audit reports we have? When do you give modified opinion? All those things have now been fully incorporated into what? Audit and assurance. So audit report is more expansive, or is more in the new syllabus. Then blockchain, AI, data analytics, all these things have also been what? Incorporated into your audit and assurance. So how does it affect your audit? How does AI affect audit? How do you audit blockchain and all those things? Those have also been what? Incorporated. Okay, let's look at taxation. Okay, so when we look at all the courses, the one that has not been affected or the one least affected is taxation. So taxation, very few things have been changed because for tax laws, we don't have so many changes in tax laws. Well, the changes we are going to have in tax laws, they have not yet been passed into law. The proposed tax bill. That's why you don't have so many changes. I can tell you that the next time they are reviewing syllabus, taxation is going to change drastically because of some of these changes. But ICAN cannot bring it in now because it's still a bill and it has not been signed into law by the president. So we still have the same thing. We do just very few things now. Tax avoidance and evasion is now more prominent in the new syllabus, so they want you to understand it in more details. It was in the old syllabus, but not so much prominent. But now, is emphasis is put on it. Is like a sub, put it as a topic on its own. Then we're also supposed to look at Nigerian Startup Act 2022. That's a new law. So you're also supposed to what? You're supposed to, that's brought into the syllabus. Okay, then VADES, that's voluntary asset declaration. There's this part in the first in taxation, I think in the first or second chapter, talking of all these voluntary blah blah blah. So please, that has been removed now. You don't need that again. That's been removed from the words from the syllabus. Okay, then performance management, PM, one of the courses that always gives a lot of students sleepless nights, or they are scared of this course. Some people believe this is the toughest course, but with FM now in place, if somebody is saying FM is the toughest course, don't worry, there are ways to navigate around it. I'll still talk about that as we move on, or as we're rounding up. So performance management now, some major adjustments in performance management. Some areas have been added, some have been removed and taken to FM. So let's look at it. One, please note that for your PM, MIS that was in MI in foundation has been removed from MI and brought to your performance management. So all this information system, big data, data analytics, decision of everything has been brought. So you have more of information system now incorporated into your what? Your performance management. Okay. Then accounting for environmental and sustainability factors. I told you sustainability is everywhere. So even in PM, sustainability has been brought into your performance management. Okay. Then performance evaluation and corporate failure is now more like a subtopic on its own. It's like, just like you have relevant course, you now have performance evaluation and corporate failure. How do you treat that in performance management? So those are the new areas. Please, working capital is now out and incorporated in what? Financial management. So working capital, working capital was a major part of your PM before, but they have removed it from PM, now taking it to what? FM. So that means as you're having others brought in, there are some that have been what? Removed, like that's what working capital is not in. PM again is now in what? FM. Then for financial management, that's the course that has been scaring a lot of people. In fact, I know that most people wrote the last time because they want to avoid this course. I must pass at all costs to avoid what? Financial management. It's fine. Financial management is that's replaced CSM. CSM is now out. We now have financial management. Okay. Now, please, financial management is just a simplified version of SFM. In fact, what ICAN is saying is that SFM is, one of the, to be honest, one of the toughest courses in your ICAN exams. Personally, I wrote SFM almost 7 or 8 times. It was the course that showed me shaggy when I was writing my own ICAN exam. It showed me a lot of shaggy and pepper because I wrote it over and over again. It's one of the toughest courses. So the exams I've noticed that SFM in professional is too packed, that a lot of students, they have not been prepared well enough in skills. So when they get to SFM, it hits them hard. So that's why they brought, okay, so let's put financial management so that you start learning a bit of SFM before you now get to professional and tackle SFM. That means you have a very strong foundation. For FR, CR, you have FR. For tax, you have advanced tax, you have taxation in skills. So that means for SFM too now, we now have FM in skills. Okay. So let's look at major areas in FM. You have the theoretical part in FM, which is purpose of financial management, corporate objective, financial markets, all those theoretical areas, not for profit. That's part. Then working capital, like I told you, working capital is now out of PM and is now being brought into what? Financial management. So working capital is a major component of your financial management. Investment appraisal too. Yeah, so investment appraisal, your DCF, your method of investment value. Then business finance is now a core part of financial management. So your cost of capital, cost of debt, how do you calculate cost of equity, all those things are now there. Then business valuation is there. Then risk management. So those are the major areas in what? Financial management. Then lastly, PSAF, that's public sector accounting and finance. Just like taxation, it's not so much has changed in PSAF. Do you understand? Not so much. Just that, of course, sustainability, like I said, is everywhere. So you now have sustainability there. So you are supposed to look at United Nations sustainability goals. Then some IPSAS have changed. There are some new IPSAS. Like, for example, IPSAS 42 social benefits, IPSAS 48 transfer expense. So there are some of the new IPSAS that have been incorporated into the syllabus. So now, please, the truth is that this syllabus is more, I'll be very frank and very real with you. It's more detailed and it's more voluminous. So to some extent, it's possible that it looks a bit tougher than what you have before. Because one, some courses are more voluminous. They have added a lot of things. Then there are a lot of changes. And most times, you see, when they change syllabus, there are a lot of transitional issues. One of the major issues is one, sourcing materials. Last syllabus change that we had for ICAN, I think the study pack came out, I can't remember, maybe some months or a diet or two after the syllabus has been changed. So for those that wrote that first diet, there was a challenge. Where do we get materials? Especially all these new areas, where do we source materials? How do we get materials to be able to navigate this? And then there, for some areas, there are no past questions. For example, FM, it has not been tested before. So how do you now get questions to solve? How do you navigate it? Okay. So that's one of the challenges. Second challenge is that with receiving lectures, let me give you very sound advice. Please, wherever you're going to receive lectures, ensure that they have incorporated the new syllabus. Some tutorial centers are not doing as well as they should do because some lecturers are resistant to change. They have been using those old textbooks and they don't want to change. They believe it's business as usual, but you can see that we have looked at it together. A lot of things have changed. And I'm telling you, ICANN is deliberately going to test some of those new areas more in at least the first 2, 3, 4 diets compared to old things that we are used to. So you also have to ensure that you find a good tutorial center, and not just a tutorial center that has prepared for this new syllabus. They have updated their materials. Their lecturers have gone to research on these new areas and they have what? They have gotten it. And if you are interested, I also offer online tutorials, one-on-one personal tutorials. So I'm going to be more personal with you. It's going to be we're going to work towards you passing the November diet. So if you are interested, and I've also incorporated these new things in the syllabus, gotten materials, worked on them, incorporated into my lecture so that you can also have a clue on how it's going to or preparing well for the exam. So if you are interested, you can send me a WhatsApp message on 091. It's also on the presentation I have here, 091 6299 2203, or you can use the link on this YouTube channel to reach out to me on WhatsApp so that we can talk and then we can discuss how you are going to navigate or how you are going to do well in November diet or whatever diet you are writing. Thank you.